This is your instructor Joy. Thank you for sending me nice questions, comments, sharing my videos and subscribing and sending me donations. A subscriber is practicing 4 hours a day. Good for you. Even I have hard time to get 4 hours of daily practicing, but if you can do that, good for you. And I'm wondering how one can organize a practicing pieces when it comes to scales, etude, and performance pieces. If I had 4 hours of practicing a day, do I divide it up so that I can practice them all? Or should I practice scales and etudes one day and mix it up another day? What would you do if you had less time or more time? Good question. I generally practice every day between 1 to 3 hours. I do have to confess, I don't get to practice every day because I have also other works that I have to do. Sometimes it's my body is not able. Well, my brain is not able sometimes. So I practice, excuse me, 4 to 5 days a week. And every day between 1 and 3 hours. If I'm lucky, I can practice maybe 3 to 4 hours on a weekends. If I happen to have a little more time, then I do that. But on a normal day, that's how it is. Excuse me. General rules. It's a good idea for you to start practicing with some kind of warm-up. It could be a scale. It could be a simple warm-up like Savchik. Savchik is one of this technique study that just warms up a little. If you start with a scale, make sure you don't start playing in a fast tempo right away. Start slowly so that you can watch what your bow is doing, so you can control your shifting, whether it's doing right. So do it slowly and then you can gradually get faster. In my opinion, such warm-up with the scales and Savchik or something similar that way could be spent 5 to 10 minutes. If you want to do all different kind of scales, meaning double stops, arpeggios, octaves, all those, it could go all the way to a whole hour. Even though I'm not necessarily for that, because if I find it, if you spend too much time on those pieces, your brain kind of loses its concentration. So when you start practicing, you may not have a great concentration right at the beginning because your mind is still trying to find what you're trying to do. But after 5 or 10 minutes, your brain is ready to work the best way. At least that's how it has been with me. So I would like to use the best concentrating time for the pieces that's most important for me in that moment. This violinist is also practicing etude, those are study pieces, and performances. How do we proportion that? After 5 to 10 minutes of warm-up, playing slowly scales or such, I don't necessarily find it's necessary to go jump in study. You can go to performance pieces. I'll tell you why. Studies are the one to serve your performance. It would be better if you pick a study that helps your performance piece play better. Let's say in your performance piece there's a lot of octave happening and then you're having a hard time. Then pick a study, etude, that has a lot of octave practices. If you have studies like this, then you can practice studies before your performance piece because there's certain purpose to practice that one. Do you understand what I'm saying? But if you're having trouble playing octaves in performance piece and your studies are about arpeggio, there's no connection between your performance piece and the study. In that case, I mean, it's nothing wrong, but you want to use your good brain for a performance piece, in my opinion. Studies are the one that helps you to master certain technical difficulties by making it a little simpler than what it is in the performance pieces, and also by making a lot of repetitions. Yeah. So I encourage you to find studies that complement your performance pieces. So now, proportion-wise, in my opinion, if you want to play study, pick the study that complements or helps your performance piece better. In that case, you can play scale, warm up pieces 5 to 10 minutes, and study maybe 20 minutes, and the rest you want to spend for the performance pieces. And the next day, what do I do the next day of the practicing? Depending how today's practicing was. Let's say, well, while you're warming up, your shifting was always shaky, meaning you are always out of tune, or almost always. Then there should be also in your practicing list for the next day. Let's say in your study, let's say your study has 20 bars. Mostly was good, but bar 5, bar 8, bar 12 was not good. Mark those. And the next day, the day 2 practicing, you should practice only those, not from beginning to the end. Bars, those specific bar numbers that you wrote, which was not as good compared to the rest of the study, that's what you should practice. Performance pieces, go same way. Don't practice from beginning to the end all the time. In a previous day, when you were practicing this one, which part was not working well? Were you able to solve it? Were you able to not solve it? Why would not be? Instead of starting from beginning to the end, focus on those. Have a little plan. What is the worst part of the whole piece? And starting with that. Remember, even though we would like to believe that we have a great concentration, everlasting concentration, but we do not have that. So you want to use your fresh brain for the most challenging part. So I encourage you to plan your practicing that way. Yeah. So long story short, in my opinion, the best practicing plan is like this. Have a very short time to warm up with a slow scale or subject, 5-10 minutes max. Then after that, when your brain is very fresh and well concentrated, then it's time to work on the most challenging part. Yeah, your body is warmed up but still fit, not too tired. Your brain just got woken up, and then this is part where you work on the hardest part, hardest passage, find solution, trying different things. And the fun part, you know, sometimes some parts are fun to play, not too hard. That should be at the end, because it's important for you to have fun. But remember, the part that you can play already, you don't need very alert mind. So those parts should be the end. It's a great idea for you to have a little practice log. Write down what you did, what was good, what was not good. That way you can plan the next days of practicing. Yeah, it always goes same way. At least that has been working with me great. Warming up a little, and then the most challenging one, the second most challenging one, and the easiest, the least challenging one is at the end. Whether it's performance piece or study, does not matter. Yeah. But do not follow just blindly instructions of other violin instructors practicing, such as you have to do this 5-10 minutes and this 20 minutes and this, that one, and at the end of performance piece. I was told to do so. I was told that you have to practice 30-minute scale, 45-minute study, and then 1 to 2 hours of performance at the end. In my experience, when I got to the performance piece at the end, I was exhausted. My mind was just exhausted. My body was full of pain. I just could not do. So I realized, you know, just think about it. You know, it just makes sense. So, but everybody has a different type of body, different way of studying. Some people study better in the morning. Some people study better in the evening. Just like that, you just have to try, see what it works better for you. And whenever it works, write it down so that you can repeat those. Yeah. Thank you for watching. I hope this video was helpful. Hope to see you again. Bye bye.